this talk is, it was kind of an idea that I sort of came up with, and it'll make sense. I mean, obviously it says listen to everybody, follow no one. It's not an autism awareness session. There is no magic pill with autism, okay? That's the first thing. Everybody that tries to sell you stuff will sell you the magic solution. There isn't one, okay? I'm very blunt with what I say, okay? It's not meant to shock you, but I just tell you like it is. And a lot of this talk is from people that have inspired me, okay? So it's almost like cutting through all the information and saying, well, actually, I like this. I think this works really well. And I'll talk a little bit about me being a parent, and I suppose a little bit about my journey, and it'll totally make sense as we go through. Okay, so sort of start off where this concept came from. I'm sure as you go through you'll be ticking the box, and at the end of it you'll be saying, are you sure you're not autistic? A lot of my autistic friends swear blind I am. I don't think I am, I just think I've been in the job that long that it kind of makes sense. Okay? And and I think it does. So a few years ago, I can't remember, about 4 years ago, started running. That was one of my many obsessions. And like all my obsessions, I have to learn everything about it. So you're ticking them off already, aren't you? There you go. Okay. And so I started reading all these books on running. So you didn't just run, I had to read all these books on running. And so, for instance, I read this lovely book called Born to Run. I don't know if any of you have ever read it. And basically it says, man wasn't born to wear trainers. Yeah, he should run barefooted. And so I bought these kind of lifelike trainers without the padding because you're born to run. That's the idea of the book. Read it, nearly put myself in hospital. Okay. And I kind of, this is just what happened, this evolution. I read all these books on running, and every time I read this book, I was like, yes, this is it, this is the answer. And then I go out and I get injured, and I go, well, I don't understand this, because this professional is telling me how to do it. And then I thought, oh God, that's autism, isn't it? It is, isn't it? Isn't that, how many books have you read? And this new book says that this is the answer. You go, this is the one. You hold it up like it's the Holy Grail. Yeah, and you read it, you go, okay, we'll try that. And then your kids go, no, I'm not having none of that. Okay. The one thing that stood out in these books was, I read this book by a guy called Dean Karnassus. If you ever, it's a brilliant book, just read it for fun. It is excellent. This guy runs for 24 hours. As he's running, he orders pizza, and he runs and he eats pizza. I won't recommend doing that because you can't digest it. But he had this quote, and I don't think it's his quote, but it was in his book. And I went, that's it. That is what we need. And the idea was this. He said, listen to everyone, follow no one. We're all different and unique, so you experiment and what works best. And that's how we work with our children. Okay? And what I'll do is I'll talk about parenting and things like that. But I love that quote because I actually think that applies to absolutely everything. There is not one route in anything. Everybody's different. And what you have to do, and you as a family, as it were, have to find what works best for you. And that's the key thing, really. That's what I talk about. Okay? Right. So these are the tools or the things, the concepts that I've come across that I think, do you know what? I think that's it. There's something in this and I like it. And you can disagree. Because the other thing about listen to everyone, follow no one is actually, I don't want you to listen to me necessarily. Okay? It's an opinion, it's an idea. But my friends that are autistic tell me I get it. A lot of people tell me I get it. I'm not sure how I get it. I just kind of do, and that's the idea. So the first thing is acceptance. This is the hardest bit. I don't know where you are on your journey. Okay? All of us have been to this point where we get the diagnosis, don't we? And the first thing we think is, what we're going to do is we're going to change them. We're going to get rid of this diagnosis because we don't want it. How can we prevent it? And there's a lot of nasty stuff out there, particularly in Eastern Europe and America, that proclaim the cure. Okay? And people will buy into it. But the key thing is this: everyone I know on the spectrum, they say this one thing: just accept us for who we are. Stop trying to change us. We do not want to be changed. Okay? It's really important you understand that, but again, it depends where you are on your journey. Okay? You will not change your children. It's really important you grasp that. Okay? You'll give it a good go. And the key thing is this: autism is a brain difference. Their brains are wired differently, so they see the world differently to you and I. You need to grasp that. And this is a quote from a lady called Alice Rowe. Everyone I mentioned, have a look and read their stuff and come to your own conclusion. But Alice Rowe says this: the most helpful thing my neurotypical loved ones can do for me is accept that my preferred way of living is not going to be the same as theirs. This is really important. My long-term happiness is going to come from different things. Okay? And that's quite difficult, because obviously you think you know what's best for your kids, but actually you don't, especially if you're neurotypical. You don't. You think you do. And that's where this is part of the fighting that you'll get, because you're trying to make them into somebody they're not. Now I know you'll hear. I know all the language that you hear. You hear things like, and you even use these words. I'm sure you do. Yes, Lee, but the world's not like that. Yeah. I'm so sorry, some of you, because I know you probably do it. At the moment, you're probably getting the dig in the ribs. Yeah. The world's not like that. What is the world like? Because I don't know about you. My world, I created my own world that suits me. I have people in my life that get me, that accept me for who I am. Yeah? So I don't understand that concept. People that say that concept demand compliance. Yeah? Within reason, I do what I want to do. If I don't want to cut the grass, Saturday, I don't cut it. Okay, they're all the fathers now taking notes, right? Lee said, get your own back. Lee said, I don't have to cut the grass if I don't want to. Okay, but I've got a wife that gets me. She gets my quirks, and hopefully I'll get hers. I mean, hopefully it's worked. We've been married over 20 years, so hopefully it's worked. It's really interesting, isn't it? Because when you start off in a relationship, you try and change each other, don't you? Yeah, and hopefully you get to some point where you go, you know what, I can't change them. That's when you get this acceptance, isn't it? So it's throughout life, really. But like I say, we are determined to do this, and I'll talk about me as a dad as well.